Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Cabrera, and today we're going to be reacting to The Truth About MUZ. This documentary is made by Timmy FNBR, who makes some amazing Fortnite content. Be sure to go check him out, and let's get into the video.
On this channel, I have talked about some of the greatest Fortnite players of all time and covered some of their biggest FNCS wins ever. We've talked about Peterbot,
the GOAT, Miro, the other GOAT,
and Booga.
I really just don't care about Booga.
Let's go, baby.
Whoopity-doo.
However, there are some very rare players who manage to win FNCS on more than one region. This is MUZ, often regarded as one of the best players in Fortnite history. And much of the attention is because he won FNCS not only in one, but two separate regions. Today, I will be telling the entire story of Fortnite's first ever multi-region champion.
Let's go, MUZ.
Serdar MUZ Telim was born on April 14th of 2005, right next to his twin sister. He also has two older brothers who also happen to be twins. Since MUZ had two older brothers, he also was introduced to gaming at a very young age.
When I was about 5 years old, my brother ended up buying a PS and the first ever game I actually played was Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's like the little taxi game, right?
Yeah.
That's a good game.
MUZ was only 12 years old when Fortnite came out on September 26th of 2007, and it was a smash hit. Like millions of other kids his age, MUZ started playing Fortnite with his friends.
It kind of just went from casual gaming to like with mates and to seeing how far esports could go, because I wasn't really too into I didn't really know how esports and shit worked until Fortnite started.
Back then, MUZ was only playing for fun, and all the while, Epic Games was trying to figure out how they could make Fortnite into an esport. Official tournaments would start during the summer of 2018, but they were mostly invitational only, which meant that MUZ was just stuck playing for fun, at least for a few more months. Because early on in the next year, Fortnite would release their first online opens tournament, and MUZ would participate. The Share the Love Cup would take place on February 19th of 2019, and then MUZ would also play in the Blackheart and Lux Cups. Unfortunately, MUZ would not earn in any of these, but a huge global event was about to be announced that would change MUZ's life forever.
The Fortnite World Cup. Each online open has a prize pool of
the
$1
Fortnite World
million.
Cup
That's
has started everybody's careers.
And
It's insane.
$10 million up for grabs. And it's all online. The top performing players from the online opens will earn a spot in the Fortnite World Cup finals in New York City to compete for their share of a $30 million prize.
And for a talented but casual gamer like MUZ, this was the perfect opportunity to be introduced to competitive sides of gaming. And things went better than we could have ever imagined. MUZ made his first ever official earnings on April 14th of 2019 during the very first week of the Solo World Cup qualifiers. He would place 63rd on OCE, earning him $200.
Dang.
And if you were paying attention earlier in the video, you would know that April 14th is also MUZ's birthday, so I'm sure that $200 were an awesome birthday present.
Hell yeah.
He also placed 67th during week 5 of solo qualifiers, which earned him another $200. Unfortunately, those placements weren't what MUZ needed to qualify for the World Cup finals in New York, but earning $400 isn't bad for someone who just was casually playing with their school friends a few months ago. From that moment on, MUZ fell in love with competitive Fortnite. He continued to play in every tournament he could. However, it would take him a few months to get his next earnings. However, these would be his biggest yet, because on November 21st of 2019, MUZ would place 3rd in the OCE Solo Cash Cup, which earned him $1,500.
Dang.
And this, like I said, was his best placement ever. And after this, things would only get better, because MUZ was earning more and more often. He would place 5th in another Solo Cash Cup just a month later, which earned him another $1,000, and then another $650 in the Winter Royale.
He's going in.
It was clear that MUZ had the potential for greatness in Fortnite. However, there was a major roadblock in his way. You see, MUZ's parents weren't entirely entirely on board with his dream. MUZ's parents were very protective over the money that MUZ was making and didn't let him spend the money to improve his setup. So he was just playing on a very dodgy setup with really, really bad frame rates. He had to prove to his parents that gaming was not just a distraction from school, but that he could turn it into a whole career. Luckily for MUZ, he would have the perfect opportunity to do so in the upcoming FNCS Invitational. The FNCS Solo Invitational was announced on April 24th of 2020. It was going to be a huge tournament for the best of the best solo players in each region. And since it was an invitational, it was comprised of mostly previous FNCS winners and some of the biggest players of all time. But there was also an open qualifier to get a couple of limited spots in the tournament. MUZ made his way to the invitationals and was even doing incredibly well during the tournament. By the end of day 2, it looked like he was even possibly going to get first place and prove to his parents and everyone in the community that he was a real deal pro Fortnite player. But then something terrible happened to MUZ. You see, right before the last game, some of the other players in the invitational threatened to grief his last game if he didn't leave his drop spot. So MUZ decided to drop somewhere else because he had to. But then he would be teamed on by 3 other people anyway.
I just had 3 people fight me, bro.
Did you die?
Yes.
I died as well, bro.
Aw, dude. Is he crying?
I'm so f***ing done. First guy field fights me and then I bat away and I get oh my god.
Damn, man.
This was absolutely devastating to watch. However, things didn't turn out too bad. MUZ ended up getting 3rd place in OCE, which is still a huge accomplishment, but it sucks that other people went out of their way to ruin MUZ's day. Placing 3rd still earned MUZ $7,000.
Dude, that's crazy though.
And even though he didn't get that 1st place, he finally had enough money and approval from his parents to upgrade his PC. But with that being said, MUZ's parents weren't ready for him to go full time yet. Unlike some of the other players that we've talked about on this channel who dropped out of school, MUZ had to go to classes like every other normal kid.
I still go to school and I get home around 4 p.m.
Okay.
From there, I basically just hop on my PC.
So you've been still going to school this entire time, right? So you've literally had normal schooling the entire time.
Damn.
How have you balanced the two?
To be fair, I don't, so we get like homework, not too much. That was last year, we didn't get too much.
Yeah.
And basically, I only do a tiny bit of my homework.
Okay.
But
Mostly been focusing on the game, fair.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Then once it comes close to like assessments or exams, I study for those.
And outside of playing Fortnite and going to school, MUZ was also streaming on Twitch and uploading his highlights to his YouTube channel. His first ever video was uploaded on August 21st of 2020.
Damn, that's recent.
Coming in, flex. I just wanna win.
Nice.
LA BB, who we running with? 2 2 3 3, I'm on 10 again. State your name.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep, just a classic highlight video, and I know that's not the original music, but copyright, I had to change it. Anyways, nothing too crazy in this first video, but streaming and YouTube are incredible ways to show off your skills to people who might not look at the leaderboards as often. This would later on lead to huge amounts of success in MUZ's career, and we'll get to that in a little bit. The next FNCS season after Invitational also happened to be a season of solos. It was Chapter 2, Season 3, and it was time for MUZ to follow up his 3rd place performance. Although MUZ didn't get top 3 again, he did place 8th on
Dude,
OCE,
8th is crazy though.
$1,600. And while this might not be as good of a placement as the Invitational, it does show that he consistently could place in the top 10. And of course, when you start placing consistently and streaming and uploading on YouTube, other people start to take notice. And one of the people that started to take notice would change MUZ's life forever. And his name is Lachlan. The massive content creator had just started a brand new gaming organization in Australia known as Power. They announced their starting roster on June 13th of 2020.
My name is Sebastian Ollie, also known as Luda.
I'm Mitchell Power, also known as Chances.
My name is Austin King, also known as Worthy.
I'm Arthur Guzos, also known as Radius.
My name is Morgan Bamford, also known as Repulse God.
I'm Lachlan Power, also known as Lachlan, and this is Team Power.
Where's
4 months
Muz?
later, on October 21st, Power announced that they would bring in their
Oh,
first
okay.
ever new player onto the roster, and that player was MUZ.
Muz.
Yo, what's up guys? It's Lachlan here with an exciting announcement over at Team POW. We are expanding our Fortnite competitive roster with our first player outside of our founding roster. I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our newest signed player,
MUZ.
Power MUZ.
This was a huge announcement for MUZ. Not only did it get him a more consistent salary, but also showed his dad how a real world of competitive gaming was a feasible career. This organization is not a random group of people you find at the back of a comic book store. Power was the biggest gaming organization in Australia and one of the biggest in the world at the time.
When I joined Power,
True. It's like an actual salary too. It's like payment.
Yeah, that was actually a big turnaround for him because it's someone really big and trusted that runs that org.
Yeah.
So when he saw that, he's like, you know what, this could actually like work.
After joining Power, MUZ and his longtime duo Speedy would team up with Looter, who was another player for Power, and they would play trios together. This was one of the best decisions MUZ would ever make, because right off the bat, this trio would do incredibly well, getting first place in 2 of the 4 sessions of the 2020 Frosty Frenzy. And because of this, they would stay together going into the 2021 FNCS season. In the first FNCS of 2021, the Chapter 2 Season 5 season, they also popped off, getting first place in Grand Finals and earning MUZ his first ever FNCS trophy.
Nice.
Dude,
that's
not
insane.
only did MUZ get bragging rights, but him and each of his teammates all took home $7,500. Shortly after winning FNCS, MUZ would leave Power on May 16th of 2021, and at the time it seemed like a questionable move. As I mentioned earlier, Power was the best team in Australia, and why leave the best team in your country if it's already the best? Well, that's if you're planning on staying in your country. Because
True.
MUZ was about to make a move that would change the trajectory of his life forever. A day later, on May 17th of 2021, it would be announced that MUZ was joining Team New Age, alongside
never
the
heard
other
of him.
2 members of his trio, Looter and Speedy. And if you're not familiar with Team New Age, they were a primarily North American team, which means this trio is being transplanted right from OCE into North America. But not before they played one last FNCS in OCE. And as many of you guys know, they blew the rest of OCE out of the water again. And with this win, the trio made history. They became OCE's first ever back-to-back FNCS winners. Now, the TNA trio were heading to NA not just as FNCS champions, but 2-time back-to-back FNCS champions.
Nice.
That's a great way to enter a new region.
Actually.
MUZ, Looter, and Speedy would travel to the United States on July 6th of 2021. And this voyage was made entirely possible by his org, because just as a reminder for you guys, MUZ was only 16 years old at this time, and he left his parents behind to travel to a foreign country to play Fortnite. But after learning more and more about the pro scene, it seems like MUZ's parents were finally
This
on
little
board
picture
with
for the
his career
parents is
choice.
crazy.
So he was completely like fine with me coming here. When I went up to him at home and I'm like, I got the offer to go to America.
Yeah.
And he instantly said, go for it.
That's cool.
Like,
That's such
awesome.
a big turnaround for your
Yeah.
parents. From the other day, that's amazing from back in the day.
It was so unexpected because
That's
literally
cool.
like 6 months before that, he wanted me to get off the games and do like
Yeah.
schoolwork.
However, things didn't exactly go to plan at the beginning of America.
Well,
See, once the
duh,
trio
I don't think they
arrived,
would go.
they didn't even make it into Grand Finals during Chapter 2 Season 7, and this was a huge disappointment to the trio. However, you have to understand when you're moving from one region to another, there are completely new players, different play styles, and obviously a lot of pressure when you're away from home. Because of these different factors, the trio would decide to split up and see if they could be successful as individuals on NA. While
Why
this
not?
is sad, it's not entirely unexpected. OCE, like I said, is a much different region than NA West or NA East, and it's much smaller. I do think that people unfairly underestimate OCE, but at the end of the day, you can't deny the differences between the regions.
Right.
Even MUZ said it himself here.
Like, what are the major differences you notice from going from playing OCE, winning 2 FNCSs, to showing up to NA East? Like, what was easier, what was harder, what was different?
I don't think anything was easier, honestly. Like everything was really different and really hard. So the thing I noticed the most when we like first started playing scrims or tournaments is for some reason the storm surge here just hits like a
They're just better, yeah, because they're just everyone's better at finding it.
Despite his underperformance in Chapter 2, Season 7, MUZ did decide to stay in America, like I said, and against all odds, he would be reached out to by a couple of really good players. MUZ would team up for the FNCS with Miro and Booga.
That's crazy.
Did you think that even before that night, you would have been able to find yourself on a team with Booga and Miro? Did you think that was even slightly possible?
No.
No, okay.
Everyone just looks down on OC, like I said before.
MUZ caught the attention of Booga and Miro because of the VODs on his Twitch and YouTube channels.
I don't think there is any chance you would have got picked up by a team of that caliber if you had not streamed when you first got there. Because that's how you built up a reputation. It wasn't just like,
Miro,
they were watching you play.
Yeah, literally, he said, give me 24 hours to get back to you with a response on if me and Booga want to trio with you.
Yeah.
And then I get a response 3 hours later. I'm like, wow, that was quick.
Nice.
And he said he wanted to trio. And then I asked him, how did you like make your decision? And he said, we watched your VODs from like a lot of tournaments on your Twitch.
Let's go.
Dang, that's crazy.
This goes back to the point I was making before, that it's really important to show off your talents on social media if you want to be the next big pro player. Not only is it a great source of income, but it also basically serves as your Fortnite resume. Not only can other pro players see you, but also professional organizations that might want to sign you. And if you want to start making Fortnite videos like me, our sponsor of this video, Filmora, is a great place to start. Filmora is one of the best ways to capture in-game footage, and once you have all of the footage you need from in-game, you can also use Filmora to make your clips look even more epic. You can put them in slow motion.
Nice.
You can do speed ramping.
WAD.
It even has motion tracking technology.
Oh my god.
Basically, any effect you can come up with, you can do using Filmora. It's a great beginner-friendly editing software as well that literally anybody can use. When I started out editing, I was very bad, but it was very easy to get started with Filmora. And once you get all of your effects perfect, Filmora also has an AI music generator built into the editor. That way you don't have to spend hours looking for the perfect song to go with your montage.
That's kind of weird.
If you guys are interested in making better Fortnite content and giving Filmora a shot, definitely click the link below in the description of the video. Thanks, and let's get back to the video. MUZ was very excited to team up with two top-tier players from NA
Booga and
East,
Miro.
but he knew that that wouldn't guarantee him first place. Despite being unsure of their placements going into Grand Finals, MUZ and his trio put in the work. And on Halloween night of 2021, all of that work paid off, because MUZ, along with Booga and Miro, would place first in the Chapter 2 Season 8 Grand Finals on NA East.
Oh my god, we won! Let's go!
That's crazy.
I swear to God, hold on. I swear to God, we won. No, I swear to God. Let's fucking go, boys!
Show me the leaderboard.
Let's go! Oh my fucking God.
It's so cool.
Did we actually won? Yes, by 7 points, bro. Let's fucking go!
Good job, bro.
This once again was a historic win. It made MUZ the first ever person to win an FNCS not only in one region, but two. And on top of that, MUZ also won $45,000, which is more money than some people make in an entire year.
Facts.
It's pretty safe to say that this move to NA was working out pretty well for MUZ, and it looked like he had finally found his place in North America. Unfortunately, however, things would take a turn for the worst. You see, the next tournament coming up was the FNCS Grand Royale. And just a few days away from the trio event, Miro and Booga would mysteriously drop MUZ from their team.
Booga, MUZ, and Miro splitting up is real. The team that just won the last NA East FNCS a few weeks ago has now already split up the day before Grand Royale. So let's get to the bottom of exactly what happened. Now, it's really confusing, and unfortunately, we don't have too much information because the original tweets that Miro made about dropping MUZ and staying with Booga and finding out they're playing with Dukes have now been deleted. So that is the new team. We now have Booga, Miro, and Dukes. Dukes obviously winning the last FNCS before we saw MUZ, Booga, Miro winner. So they did drop MUZ for an FNCS winner the season before, but a lot of people still really confused. Now, I don't have the tweets on hand. I believe Miro said something along the lines of MUZ is an incredible player. It is due to personal issues outside of them as a team.
This was a huge shock to the entire entire Fortnite
That doesn't even make
community.
sense.
It was basically unheard of to drop a teammate that close to a major tournament, let alone somebody that you literally just won FNCS with. Now, we don't know for sure why they dropped MUZ, but we did know one thing for sure, and that was that MUZ needed a new trio.
Yep.
So MUZ would team up with an already existing duo, Joji and Rokane, to team up for the Grand Royale.
Okay.
And being a new trio, things didn't exactly go to plan. They ended up getting 20th out of 33 teams, which was a huge letdown for MUZ, considering he had just won FNCS last season.
That's not his fault,
However,
though.
things weren't all too bad, because at the end of the Grand Royale, Epic Games would make a huge announcement talking about the 2022 FNCS season.
I'm also happy to announce that the FNCS will return again next year. Running an entire year of trios was super fun to watch storylines, skill sets develop, and over time it accomplished our goal for a more consistent yearly experience for the best players in the world. But hey, it wouldn't be Fortnite competitive without a little shakeup. So for 2022,
Duos?
it's all about twos. FNCS next year will be duos for the whole year. You can expect to drop into the first FNCS next year in February.
They did
We wanted to
duos
announce
till
this super early
2024.
today, so you had plenty of time to find your perfect duo partner before we kick off the next year.
That's right, the new season was switching back to duos, and that meant that MUZ wasn't the left out person who didn't have a trio. Everyone had to basically break up and find new teammates. So for all intents and purposes, even though MUZ was on a new region, he had a new chance to find a duo. He ended up playing with a few different people in 2022. For Chapter 3 Season 1, he would team up with Avery and got 42nd place. However, they did stick together for one more season, where they would end up getting an 8th place in Chapter 3 Season 2. However, he would leave Avery and find a new duo named Playify for Chapter 3 Season 3 FNCS. And unfortunately, this duo didn't do too hot, getting a 33rd out of 50 teams.
I wonder why they picked certain
However,
people.
going into FNCS Invitational 2022, MUZ would team up with somebody who he hadn't seen in a while, his old teammate Looter from OCE. The FNCS Invitational 2022 was Fortnite's return to LAN events following the COVID lockdowns. It was held live and in person at the Raleigh Convention Center for the first time since World Cup. On November 12th and November 13th, some of the best players from every region around the world would drop from the battle bus. Players like Vino, Miro, Peterbot, Booga, and Thomas HD were just a few of the awesome pros in attendance.
The real best thing ever about today is the fact that the wait is finally over. We are finally here for the FNCS Invitational, and honestly, seeing how packed the venue already is, it's exhilarating.
That's right, the fans are ready.
That guy
We
did not
are
say
ready.
anything.
But you know who else is ready? It's the players. Check this out. These are going to be some of the most exciting games you will see in all of Fortnite.
Seti and Cammy, they won it. They
I
won it.
really missed in-person competitions.
They won
Yeah,
it.
I'm super excited to get back into real-life competitions.
We really have to play in-person events for like the first time since World Cup.
Me and Dukes are so excited, you know what I'm saying?
It's
They
my
didn't
first
win.
time being at a tournament on LAN.
LANs are just like the greatest vibes ever.
We've been playing with each other a lot, especially in the past like 2 weeks. Yeah, we've been working hard.
And people
Crazy.
were hyped for this tournament. The convention center was filled, and fans everywhere were ready for in-person events to return. And so were the players, because for a lot of these players, including MUZ, this would be their first time ever competing at a LAN tournament. Unfortunately, MUZ ended up placing 47th out of 50 teams, which again was disappointing, but I think getting to play with his friend Looter and also getting to have some LAN experience was an overall positive for MUZ, even though he didn't get the placement he wanted. Following the FNCS, however, Looter, MUZ's buddy from OCE, would decide to go back to Australia, leaving MUZ as the only OCE transplant left in the NA region. The next year would start off with MUZ duoing with DGen, where they would end up getting 10th place in Major 1,
That's not
which
bad.
is pretty good considering it was a bounce back from the 47th place. However, things would be shaken up between Major 1 and 2 of 2023 because Epic Games would decide to combine the NA East and NA West regions together into one NA Central super region. And this screwed over a lot of people because all of these pro players that were on NA East and based in Virginia would have to move all the way down south to Texas if they wanted to have zero ping. And on top of that, there was also double the good competitors, With all these obstacles of learning
Oh my
a
God,
new
is this all
region,
MUZ?
MUZ and DGen would only get a 19th place in Major 2, which wasn't good enough to qualify for the LAN. So the duo would part ways, and MUZ ended up playing with his friend Paper for Major 3. Here, they would place 11th, which, although wasn't exactly what they wanted, was good enough to get them a ticket straight to the FNCS Global Championships in Copenhagen. The Global Championships would be October 13th through 15th of 2023, and this was the first FNCS held outside of North America, so MUZ would travel to yet another country to play. MUZ and Paper ended up making it to the final day of competition, but in the finals they only got a 30th out of 50 place. They still took home $9,000, and again MUZ started to get even more experience on LAN. Luckily, Fortnite wasn't making too many changes in 2024, and duos were here to stay. So MUZ decided to run it back with Paper for the first two FNCSs, placing 14th in Major 1 and 16th in Major 2. MUZ then decided to sign with a team called XSET on May 25th of 2024. And for those of you who aren't super up to date on orgs, XSET is an organization that the massively popular Fortnite streamer Clix is the owner of.
One last announcement. We've acquired a majority share in XSET!
After joining XSET, he and the rest of his org team flew over to Saudi Arabia for the Esports World Cup.
I saw this.
The team was made up of 4 people: MUZ, Edgy, Ritual, and Cold. And the Esports World Cup would be a little bit of a different format than traditional FNCS. Instead of a battle royale, the Esports World Cup focused on team games like Capture the Flag, Hardpoint, and Keeper that were similar to games in Call of Duty. XSET absolutely rose to the occasion in these games and took home the first place win.
Destroyed it. The championship, the trophy, and the glory, proving exactly why each other team feared facing them. Ritual earned the tournament MVP title with his incredible sniping skills, consistently delivering game-changing shots that secured XSET's path to victory.
Oh my God.
With this, MUZ won $100,000.
He said,
which were his highest earnings ever from one tournament. And following the colossal win at Esports World Cup, MUZ would start duoing with the one and only Epic
Whale.
Together with the GOAT, they placed 10th in Major 3 and earned themselves a spot at the 2024 Global Championships.
Nice.
Unfortunately for MUZ and Epic Whale, they ended up placing 27th. Although MUZ and Epic Whale got 27th place, it was the best ever MUZ had done at an official Fortnite LAN, so there was definitely a positive to take out of the event. And that sort of brings us up to today. Going into next season, we have trios, and there are some rumors that MUZ is going to be teaming up with Clix for trios.
And Rise.
But none of that is confirmed yet, and we still have a long time until 2025. But for now, I'll leave you with this. I think it's incredible what MUZ has done, taking such a big risk at such a young age. If MUZ's story can teach us anything, it's that you need to follow your passion and your dreams no matter what if you want to be successful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like the video and hit the subscribe button. It helps me so much. And watch this video right here if you haven't seen it yet. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Perfect. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below what video you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.